Hello, and welcome back to the Invisible Labyrinth. My name is Morgan. This is part 2. Go back to part 1. There will be links easily available to that. This will not make much sense without the first half. My name is Morgan. I wrote this game, and I'm creating a little playthrough of it to demonstrate how this game works, and to do that, I am joined by my friends, Brendan and Kris.
Hello, my name is Brendan McLeod. I use he, him pronouns. You can catch me and Kris on Oathsworn at oathswornpodcast.com. You can also find all the games that I make at sulcata.games.
And I'm Kris, like Brendan mentioned. You can hear me also on Oathsworn. And otherwise, you can find me on the internet at KNALLISO, although I'm going to warn you right now, I don't do a whole lot.
Alright, and as a reminder, you can find this game at wedidthetimewarpagain.itch.io, and you can find all of my music at wedidthetimewarpagain.bandcamp.com. So last time, we created our setting and our characters that this game is taking place in. We are in a murder mystery on an isolated island with implications about psychic events, but perhaps nothing really psychic, a haunted PA system, a very competent but very beleaguered staff, and a consistent rumor about bad luck plaguing everyone here on the island. We created our characters as well. I will be playing Alistair Young, he and they pronouns. He's the best friend of the presumed inheritor of the island, their roommate in college, and now managing industrial manufacturing plants very incompetently. He's handsome and doesn't have much else to offer.
My character is Kennedy's son, they them pronouns. They just have immense beach vibes. Cut off shorts, tank tops, never wearing shoes. Big fan of hugs, except with regards to Alistair, because he's got that bad luck on him. Don't really want any of that. And yeah, they're just kind of vibing. They're just one of those people that just shows up at your family events on your very fancy, wealthy island, and they're just chilling, generally.
I'm playing Hercules Cross, he, him pronouns, a 50-something bachelor with aviator glasses slicked back here and a whole lot of money that no one's quite sure how he came by. He's usually found driving around the island in a tricked-out golf cart and desperately wants Alistair to pay back the tens of thousands of dollars that he owes him.
All right, and we have begun to build out our timeline. We haven't connected to any of our codas, these guys in purple, which represent the possible endings of our story. But we are all spiraling out from a first night on the island at a party thrown by the presumed heir, where Susan comes over the PA to tell everyone that a storm is approaching. Full disclosure, we had some audio and Discord problems, so I was already starting to take my turn. But that just means you don't have to watch me typing. My first beat of my turn will be adding to this timeline where Alistair and Hercules find Uncle Thrall, the reclusive owner of the island, dead in his office.
No!
The back at the living room where everyone was having a party, Kennedy hears a weird noise just outside, and a bullet whizzes past their head. If that's good with you, Kris.
Yeah. Jeez. That's probably fine.
And that's connecting off of here. And then I'm going to drag this back over for the implication that maybe someone should connect these, but not going to do that yet in case we want to fit other stuff in there. And then, yeah, I'm gonna do something we haven't done or didn't do in the first episode, which is going to be taking the action, creating a new secret. I'll draw a major arcana card, and after reading it, I'll place it down in front of me, just put it in my hand in the online card playboard, and create a new secret based off of that.
Quick addendum. I did create a new secret.
Oh, yes, you did. Thank you. I think I remembered that you did that as soon as I said that.
It was right at the end.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okie dokie. Alright, yes, you don't tell us the secret because that's not how secrets work. So
Yes.
It's my turn. Okay. I am going to step 1, create a beat. Gotta do that. This is going to be attached to the Pinchon on the Shore coda. Which is as Alistair hurries onto the boat, pursued by people in dark suits, Kennedy, not having been able to, get this boat to start, panics, dives off the boat into the water, and just starts swimming for it. And I'm gonna reveal one of my secrets. Yeah. Which is the chariot. That secret is Kennedy is on the run from the federal government.
Huh. Interesting.
All right, I have added that to the motif deck, which I should also specify. Last time, one secret did get revealed, which is that Alistair and Uncle Thrall had been sleeping together for some unknown amount of time.
Do we know why the Canadian FBI is after Kennedy?
Is it the Canadian FBI?
I don't know.
I do like the idea of it being specifically not the US.
Yeah.
FBI, CIA.
Is this CSIS? The Canadian Security Intelligence Service?
Thank you, Chris.
I think I only know that from the show Continuum? I think? What a time. Anyway.
Wow, I assumed you knew it from being Canadian, but...
No. They don't teach us this stuff.
I thought CSIS was that one Kanye album.
I see sis and I eat them.
That's it. That's what Kanye says. Multi-platinum.
So Kanye can say sis, but the rest of it... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to define what agency in the world Kennedy's on the run from.
I honestly hadn't thought about it. All I wrote was on the run from the federal government.
Yeah, okay, we can leave it at that.
I hadn't even picked which country. I didn't even specify which country.
Blank space for us to explore later.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought Canadian because we described the island as off the coast of Nova Scotia.
Oh,
did we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, because, well, I think that was maybe a joke based on our time zone situation.
Oh, well,
when
I
we
took
all
it very
woke up at 5 a.m.
Oh my! I didn't even remember that because I was just like, "Wait a minute, is this island not even warm?" Oh my god!
If we have a beach person
I
of
do
Kennedy's
really like.
vibes, there's no way for the island to be that cold.
Right.
I don't know, man. You get people who are just like, "Let's hit the beach," and I'm like, "This is Pebbles. Why are we
This
here?"
is true.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is like you came expecting a subtropical island just because you heard the word island.
Oh boy.
But like they've been here before,
Kennedy's
so
been
like
here.
it's not a surprise.
Maybe you don't have
you
a
know
memory.
What?
Maybe you don't have
maybe
any
they were just like, listen, if it's a shore and then there's water, that's a beach. When my little sister was like a baby, if she saw any body of water and any kind of bird on or near it, it was the ducky pond.
That's so true.
Kennedy's just an eternal optimist.
Anything's a beach if you believe. Okay. The second part of my turn. Okay, I made a beat. Time to do another thing.
Yes, which can be making a beat again.
It's true. Play out a scene, add a link, add another coda, add a detail to another scene, add another beat, add a new secret. Okay. We have so many beats. Let's put some lines between some things.
Yeah. I think a good goal for this session will be to connect everything up. So that we don't have to do a third recording. I do think this is a very accomplishable goal.
Fantastic. Okay, I am over in the sort of bottom left corner of the board, Morgan, with the little car icon, little helicopter icon. I am going to add a link between this scene that we had where in order to be able to drive Hercules' golf cart, Kennedy had to promise to get Alistair to pay Hercules back. I'm going to link that up to Kennedy then talking to Alistair about paying Hercules back. I'm just going to add that link so that those are connected up.
Okay, so these are different timelines splitting off from...
Yeah, I think there's one where Kennedy goes, okay, let me go talk to that cursed guy, and then goes and talks to Alistair, and then there's one where Kennedy's like, yeah, totally, I'll do that, and then just waits until Hercules is not on the golf cart and just rifles through it.
Yeah.
Now,
hell yeah.
Kennedy does mention the secret compartments in the golf cart in that beat.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just, like, in that scene, Hercules was, like, opening up all kinds of secret compartments, not, like, the one with the lockbox, but it was just, like, here's a flip, like, you know, like, this golf cart had been on Pimp My Ride, right? Like, Kennedy's like, it's got gadgets and shit, it's sick. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like, they know that there are compartments, but... Yeah,
and Alistair goes wild about it and jumps to some conclusions.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so that's my turn.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I am going to add a beat over on the other side where... Here, I'm going to change this link. So, previously we'd seen Alistair take off from the party, running to the tool shed, a pair of bright eyes watch him from the hedge. Janice gets in an argument with Janice's aunt. Kennedy calls out the bad luck. Kennedy, and then branching off here to the side, Kennedy is sent out to get Alistair back, returns instead with the tiger carrying Janice's aunt's body, which was not mauled to death by a tiger. I'm going to add a beat where Kennedy attempts to perform the most laid-back autopsy possible. Janice's aunt in the middle of the living room.
My brain first filled in a magic trick, which is obviously wrong, and then CPR. So hearing laid back CPR is very funny.
Laid back autopsy is
Technically,
just
all
astounding
CPR
work.
is laid back in a way.
at least partially.
But yeah,
Ideally.
I think Kennedy is like, well, we can deduce that because she is not breathing, she's almost certainly dead.
I don't want to panic anybody, but not looking so good.
You can note from the hands that they do not move. Yeah, maybe we'll add a detail to this later to make it a little bit more productive. But that's the situation for right now.
Yeah.
And then for my second action, I am going to take this pair of beats that we have linked. Hercules discovers the flaming wreckage of the golf cart, picks up the pistol. Alistair wrestles the small pistol out of his hands. I'm going to add a link from Alistair wrestling the pistol out of Hercules' hands to Dakota, God moving over the face of the waters, where a gunshot rings out. Hercules lies dead on the foot of the mansion as the Canadian FBI takes on the mansion from all sides as the sun begins to rise.
Oh,
Done.
Beautiful. Amazing.
That's one way to get out of debt.
Yeah. Okay.
Take it away, Morgan.
I think my first beat, that's not a beat, that's a card. My first beat is going to be leading into the Too Furious ending. And actually... Yeah. This is in fact going to be connecting between that ending and this right here. A Canadian... the storm having cleared, a Canadian helicopter approaches the island. Clearly locks its sights on Kennedy and begins its descent. Kennedy hops into the golf cart.
Time to make my escape.
Exactly. And yeah, that's gonna lead into our Too Furious coda. Others drive out of the way as Kennedy drives a golf cart at, through, and past them off a cliff. And then, for my next trick... Yeah, let's figure out what's maybe down in this hole.
Oh yeah, the hole.
Oh my god.
Kennedy wanders underground and discovers Alistair run through with a spear, barely alive, in the messy underground caves where people have clearly been living far away from the luxury of the main house. I want this to be like same setting as the parallel timeline where Kennedy did not fall down a hole.
Boy, okay. Oh boy, alright. I think I'm gonna go to the cards for this next beat. I'm gonna draw one from the motif deck and one from the Minor Arcana deck. So we got the Empress, Susan!
Susan is
That's
here!
My girl!
Susan's always
everywhere,
here.
You know? And the Six of Wands. Going to the table, the oracle table. 6 is a rude awakening. And Wands is that's interrupted by a dangerous threat that involves an unexplainable event, or that strangely goes exactly as planned. That's great. A rude awakening, huh? I feel like there's multiple places that could go.
For sure.
I'm waking up.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm going to add a beat in here that will go between the party where everyone, the living room where everyone's having a party, and then there's a weird noise in the hallway and a bullet whizzes past Kennedy's head, and it's going to go between that and Alistair Kennedy and Hercules returning to the dining room and finding Janice dead, which is Kennedy, like, going to get Alistair and Hercules because somebody's here on the island and they're shooting, and realizing that that's already happened up here. It's like, oh, God, they came for Uncle Thrall? Oh no, that's terrible. We gotta go and warn everybody. And then we go back downstairs and they also came for Janice, apparently. They don't like this family. Whoever's here. It's not a good time.
The fun thing here is that we super all have alibis about this.
In this timeline, it's none of us. We're not the problem, probably. Maybe. Okay. So those are now linked up. We got 2 dead thralls. And then for the second part of... Oh, wait a minute. How does Susan come into that? Because I forgot that Susan factors into this. Maybe... Okay, it's that bullet whizzes past Kennedy's head. Everybody panics and starts just, like, run out of the living room. And while panicking, because we've said that Susan, you know, omnipresent, can either, like, make announcements across the island, or can just, like, talk to people individually. I think Kennedy's just running, and Susan's just like, you know, I don't know if Alistair and Hercules know about this.
Yeah,
Kennedy's like,
good.
oh, fuck.
Yeah, I like that a lot. instigating it.
So at Susan's prompting, Kennedy goes to warn Hercules and Alistair.
Great.
There we go. Okay. Thanks, Susan, for having my back, ? Anywho, I think for the second part of my turn, I want to have a scene. What's it called? Have a scene? Frame a scene? Play out a scene, yeah. To try to answer the question. This is coming off of Kennedy finding Alistair now with Spear. Barely alive. That's still a little bit alive. And I think the question is...
Kennedy, as we have established.
Who did this to you? Who's running around with spears? Trying to kill people with spears?
Kennedy, as we have established, knows something or two about whether or not people are alive.
Yeah, if anybody is going to be able to put all these pieces together, it's them.
Mm-hmm.
And with their extremely chill demeanor, Alistair won't be panicking in his final moments. Pretty sure that's how that works. Alistair, who hurt you? Like this. I'm sure there's lots of answers to that question. Yeah, so finding Alistair just comes up oh, hey, are you still, and goes over to Alistair and just sort of picks up one wrist and just sees if it'll drop, because that's how you can tell if someone's dead. Does Alistair respond at all? How's he doing?
I think his responses are incoherent at this point. But I might add some branches of varying responses from him,
Sure.
It's very... dying person gets precisely one more sentence out, and it's only a little bit helpful.
Cool. Yeah, right. At some point, Kennedy's just okay, can't talk, that's fine. I'm gonna blink once for yes, twice for no, and then just starts asking you a bunch of yes-no questions. Right? Did you see who did this to you? Was it the snake? Can snakes wield long arms now? Right. Do you know where you are?
One blink.
Can I convince you to pay back Hercules?
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have several tens of thousands of dollars on you, would you? I'm just gonna check your pockets.
Kennedy stealing Alistair's wallet is very good.
Yep.
Well, steals their wallet, right? And then,
Or just, takes their wallet to, look at it and forgets that they have it.
just kind of goes, well, he's not going to be needing this. But I think kind of the last thing he manages to babble out is, yeah, I think it's just, I trusted him.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Kennedy's gonna be him. A man did this to you. Okay, that's great. That's something.
Alistair wakes back up to say, no, I'm non-binary and also use he, him pronouns sometimes, so it's a little bit more ambiguous than that.
Shit, you're right. I shouldn't have assumed. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. But then, yeah, just does kind of like stand up. I think I might reveal my other secret.
Yeah,
because it's relevant now. Yeah, and then does just kind of stand up, look around this little like living arrangement, and it's just like, why did they kill you in my house? And my other secret is from the Hermit.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy was never invited here by anyone. They're a castaway that washed up on this island years ago and live here in secret from everyone except Susan. They just come to the fancy party when people are here.
That's so good. Good for them, honestly.
They're making it out here. Self-sufficient, except for the voice that helps them out sometimes, and the fancy party where they can like stock up on supplies for the next year.
Honestly, kind of a ideal life. Aside from the maybe being chased by the federal government portion.
Yeah, if that weren't there, they would just be chilling.
Beautiful.
I just realized I've been misspelling Thrall. Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, I'm going to do a big move to link some stuff up. I'm taking this big branch that starts with Kennedy and Hercules discussing the golf cart.
Okay.
I'm moving it over here near where Kennedy did this quote-unquote autopsy on James's
Oh my god.
And I'm going to add a beat between the two. The next morning, the family holds a funeral for Janice's aunt on the beach.
Incredible. I love that this timeline, interesting implications, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Like, we just had all this stuff for a funeral just ready.
Also that Jadis's aunt dies and seemingly no other murders happen.
I mean...
sometimes killers are efficient. One and done. They're good.
Yeah, maybe... Yeah. Or... Oh, you know what I'll do? Maybe I'll save that for later, because I have a second action already in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I'm going to add a beat over here, coming off of Hercules receives a mysterious phone call. No, you know what? I'm not going to add a beat. I'm going to add a detail. Hercules looks up to see a helicopter flying overhead and looks frightened. And I'm going to use that opportunity to reveal my secret. Temperance. Hercules Cross went out west and became the So I took Temperance the other way around. I decided, okay, Hercules is really big into crime. He got all of his money doing crimes of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
The crime is that he fabricates fake cars. Remember before how he has schematics for all cars that you see on the road?
Yeah.
He manufactures fake bootleg Toyotas and Hondas.
So like car counterfeiting.
Yeah, he counterfeits cars. He's the biggest car counterfeiter this side of the Mississippi.
Hercules would steal a car.
And then figure out how to replicate it.
Steal a car the way you steal a movie.
Yeah. And I've added Temperance to the motif deck.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'm going to add a beat coming off of when Janice goes to get help because Alistair fell down the hole. Or no, the golf cart. Hercules fell down the hole. Hercules does not know Alistair did as well. So... yeah. Meanwhile, we see Janice's aunt in the tool shed. I'm actually going to draw a minor arcana for a suggestion here. 5 of Cups. A divisive argument that makes an opportunity vanish. That brings everything we know into question. That opens a secret door. Yeah, I'm going to do a little twist on this.
Have all of these draws been cups and wands?
I think almost all of them. I think it's really been cups and wands centric. I think we got like a couple swords and maybe 1 coins. Meanwhile, we see Janice's aunt in the tool shed on the phone with Uncle Thrall. They have a shouting argument before she tells him, well, just go ahead and close all the secret passages, why don't you? Which perhaps explains why the golf cart secret passage no longer worked.
Now I see.
Then I'm gonna... yeah, okay, I'm gonna add a beat actually coming off of the curtain rise.
Let's go. New timeline.
Yeah, super new timeline. I think at the instant Susan's announcement finishes, everyone panics and begins fleeing through the house. And I'm gonna actually connect that both to the curtain rise and Alistair facing off against a tiger. Which is now in the opposite order, so I will be fixing those arrows while you take your turn, Kris.
Okie dokie. Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? We need... yes, that needs to get linked up to stuff. We just got a floating coda over here.
Yeah.
The tiger's coda. And otherwise, things are pretty linked up. Oh, and we also have the Yes, the boat, Coda.
The Boda.
I'm gonna go to the cards. The Lovers. And the Queen of Pentacles. So is the Lovers specifically that secret, or does it just have to
Yeah, it's
involve? Okay.
It's like the other motifs. This scene should be at least a little bit about or referencing the fact that Alistair has been sleeping with Uncle Thrall.
Okie dokie. And then Queen of Pentacles. A queen. A moment of comfort. And then Pentacles coins. That sees a hope disappear. That prompts an even stranger question. Or that reveals a key insight. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah. Da. I think I know what sort of beat I want to add. It's just a matter of where. Where does this go?
One reason I added the new panic timeline is to give people a little more space for, like, one-on-one or, like, solo character moments.
Gotcha. I think maybe this is branching off of the scene where Hercules and Alistair were asking Uncle Thrall why they can't just sell the island. Because at the end of that, right, like, Hercules left, and then Alistair and Uncle Thrall were, like, alone for a while. So I think coming off of that, like, they're having a moment where they're, like, able to just, like, be by themselves. And I think towards the end of that, Uncle Thrall asks Alistair, "You trust me, right?" Alistair's like, "Yeah, of course." And then Uncle Thrall gives you a large envelope and says, "I need you to get this off the island for me. Don't open it. You don't want to know what's in there. Just make sure it ain't here anymore."
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
So I might just rearrange some of these beats so that they're a little...
Yeah, we might take them over to
easier.
Yeah.
Do this. And that goes... Yeah, that can either go there or heading off to the left. And then I was going to put this going over to the left.
Yeah. I like maybe up here, and we try to end it sooner so it doesn't collide with anything else.
And I'm just gonna do this. Just gonna put those over there. I've just moved the pinch on the shore coda closer to that beat, because it feels like those could lead together.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna put the money bags back where it belongs. And then for the second part of my turn, let's see. Ha! Okay, I'm gonna add a beat coming off of Hercules wrestling the assault rifle out of Alistair's hand.
Good.
I think this is outside the window. Outside the second basement window. Because they're in the second basement. Hercules sees his golf cart being driven off at a high speed, in brackets, for a golf cart.
Great.
Astounding.
Panicking. I'm just gonna maybe move these over here. It's fine.
It's scary.
Yeah, implications of positioning.
Potentially. And that's my turn.
Hell yeah.
I am going to add another beat coming off of Kennedy discovering Alistair run through with a spear.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna take some more liberties with the Kennedy situation. Hearing a noise, Kennedy whirls around and finds another Kennedy covered in Alistair's blood.
What?
Oh my god. Wow, I probably just blew out my microphone so bad there.
Yeah, I am going to use my second action to add a detail. I'm going to go back to the Kennedy autopsy. I'm going to embellish this scene a little bit more now that I've figured out what I think is going on here. One of the staff who actually knows what they're doing determines she died of a heart attack. Maybe she was startled? Outside, we see the bright eyes watching through the window. A government agent.
My first thought was, damn it, snakes can fire guns now.
I mean, maybe the government agents are all snake men.
Yeah.
Maybe they've
Snakes
trained
versus
the
tigers.
snakes.
Yeah.
Maybe they've trained the snakes in one of those weird government experiments.
Yeah.
No one would ever suspect snakes.
No, I certainly wouldn't.
No.
Morgan, make sense of this.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to add a beat leading into the Back to Basics Tigers ending.
Excellent.
Alistair grabs the snake statue, which is the one we saw in Thrall's office up in this timeline. While Uncle Thrall shouts, "No, don't!" But he's too late. The curse takes the island completely. What exactly does any of this mean? Who knows? And I'm going to add a detail to the Alistair facing off against a tiger. I'm going to say this is multiple hours later of paranoid hiding from everyone else on the island.
Great.
This is multiple hours later, which everyone has seemingly spent hiding paranoid from each other.
The tigers. Okay. Oh, lots to do here.
Chris, I'm sorry. I just keep thinking of worse things to do to Kennedy.
Oh, that does seem to be this game. What new horrors can we inflict these people to?
It really is a game about putting your characters in just so many situations.
Mm-hmm.
So a terrible number of situations. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna go to the cards. When I can't figure it out, I go to the cards. That's what we do. Wheel of Fortune, love that. Snake's Eyes. And the Queen of Swords, which is probably fine. The Queen is a moment of comfort again, and Swords is that spirals into violence that brings up questions from the past, or that results in unexpected teamwork. Okay, alright, that's good. A moment of comfort. Let's see where we have something that approaches that on this on this map. Where are people comfortable?
The party is still theoretically going on.
Yeah.
When Alistair and Kennedy find the back half of the tiger.
Half of the tiger. That is true.
Likewise,
Oh, Okay, I gotta. Oh boy, that might be too. Hey, what the fuck does that mean? For the setting. Yeah, maybe that does not make the sense. Okay. A moment of comfort that spirals into violence, brings up questions from the past, results in unexpected teamwork, and involves the Snake's Eyes. So question, do all of the branches have to end in a coda? Like, everything has to get linked up to something? Or can there be, like, dead ends?
Yes. Everything should end in a coda, but those codas can also be like, this is kind of a dead-end timeline where nothing interesting is happening, of just like, well, gotcha. The house exploded and they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In the last game I played, which was Toxic Yuri themed, we had several timelines that just ended with, we weren't interested in continuing this, so one of our 3 disastrous girls killed everybody.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, maybe it's this, coming off of the beat where Hercules gets that phone call to get out of the country and then looks up, sees a helicopter, Because that is right after Alistair has found and opened the secret lockbox with the car schematics and blueprints. Maybe Hercules rushes back to his golf cart, sees Alistair rifling through the secret contents thereof, and offers them a deal. You help me, destroy this evidence or get out of here, and we'll just call it even on the debt.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. But yeah, the snake's eyes are upon Alistair, so Hercules is tying himself up in that now, so that'll be fine, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is my beat, and then for the second part of my turn, I think I want to add a detail. To somewhere, but I thought about it and then I've forgotten, so hang on, wait for another 5 minutes of silence.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh, yes, I wanted to add a detail to the funeral that is held for Janice's aunt on the beach. Everyone is so upset by the sudden death that no one notices that there are more people in attendance at this funeral than there were at the party the night before.
Oh, good and normal.
They're wearing black. They blend in.
Dearly beloved.
Isn't that weddings? Is that also funerals?
Gather here.
That's my turn.
God. I'm going to add a beat after Thrall gives Alistair the envelope. After leaving the room, Alistair immediately opens the envelope.
Good.
And then I'm going to add a new coda.
Ooh.
This coda is called Endless Summer. One by one, the Kennedys begin to wake up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All done.
Wow. Hell yeah. Okay. I'm gonna add a beat coming off of again with the envelopes.
But an alternative to Alistair immediately opening the envelope.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, where else would he hide it?
Inside a taxidermied tiger?
I was thinking
Oh,
behind a seat cushion on the golf cart.
Yeah!
Ah.
That's good.
Alistair hides the envelope behind a secret cushion on Hercules' golf cart. They do not notice an obvious hidden safe behind the seat cushion as well.
Dynamite.
We handle so many things being hidden at once.
Yeah. And then... yeah, I think we get... I'm going to add a coda to Hercules and Alistair making a deal. Alistair shakes his hand agreeing to the deal. Hercules pulls a secret lever on the golf cart, revealing that it has had a propeller and a jet engine hidden the entire time, and the two of them leave the island. That's good with you.
I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, and thank you for finding the title for this coda.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
Actually,
stuck in my head all day now.
I think it's specifically more like a helicopter.
Golf cart helicopter.
Carter?
Golf cart helicopter. He's probably just gonna
I
give
think
me
the
pictures
thing is that it's so absurdly dangerous because it's not like they're adding any walls to it.
Wait,
No, it's not close.
Oh no.
No, this doesn't exist. You're not gonna tell me this exists.
No.
Unless this is some sort of ride for children at an amusement park. You're not telling me this exists.
This looks more real than I'm willing to believe. Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
What the hell?
Oh no. Yeah, of course there's a eagle and flag decal and a gun. Oh my god.
Villager William Bill Shawn beams with pride as he talks about his 13-month-long obsession and labor of love. The retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, decked out in a tan flight suit, complete with a name tag, gloves, and helmet, embodies everything a military helicopter pilot represents. And after serving his country for more than 36 years, he is now enjoying a different mission, honoring his fellow veterans with a golf cart that's been morphed into an AH-1G Cobra gunship.
Okay.
He has a stuffed German Shepherd that rides with him?
What?
Why?
I guess I'm adding a detail to this coda already. Hercules reveals his stuffed German Shepherd.
I could use a Bluetooth speaker, and I've got machine gun fire and helicopter sounds on my phone. So I've got it for realism.
Okay.
God.
This is an article in villages-news.com from 2019 about a local resident. The Villages is one of those places where Florida men go to live out the rest of their lives.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's my turn.
Oh my god, okay. Great.
And I think just to do a quick secrets check, for if we want to get into the end game, I think I have exactly one secret. And
I'm fresh out.
Cool. And I think, Brendan, you're done with secrets?
I do not have any unrevealed secrets.
Sick. Yeah, if you want to prompt me towards revealing that, stuff exploring the relationship and the motives for it between Alistair and Thrall would help, but also I can just add some beats that do that. Some of the play advice I figured out that's in the book
Cool.
was hint towards where they might be so other people can help you foreshadow or reveal.
Totally. Okay. Well, I know where I want to add a beat, because I think I can lead into this endless summer coda, which is very menacing. So I'm just going to put a beat coming off of Kennedy finding another Kennedy covered in Alistair's blood. I'm going to add alone and wielding a spear. Kennedy delves the tunnels beneath the island. They open a door into a glowing room. And then the coda of one by one, the Kennedys begin to wake up. Unfortunately, though, the name Kennedy and clones ? Have been combined, and so in my head it's just Clone High JFK.
Oh, good.
There's a room full of him. It's about time. Oh, Christ. Morgan, you said something about Thrall and Alistair?
Yeah,
For your other secret? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because I also have some questions about, this curse, what leads to many tigers. I might draw a card to see what I do, just because I don't super know what to do.
Yeah.
Minor Arcana. That's a lot of cups. 9 of them.
Hell yeah.
A growing suspicion, sure. That makes an opportunity vanish. That brings everything we knew into question. Or that opens a secret door. Growing suspicion. I'm torn between something they did off of the this branch where Alistair faced off against a tiger, or something from this branch where we all find Janice dead in the dining room.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if I could link those up to anything else on the board. But things have gone in such, wildly different directions that it is proving very difficult to try to connect any of these branches.
I mean, remember you can connect to an earlier beat also. You don't necessarily have to always connect to the most latest beat. Yeah.
I'm even looking along those paths. I'm like, there's gotta be something here that I could be like, these could happen in the same reality, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. the thing I'm looking at now might mean that this branch where we all find Janice dead has to be like go the opposite way out, because I'm wondering if I can connect that, we all find Janice dead, to that one to Alistair hours later, because everyone's just like, oh my god, everyone's dying, and then they all split up panicked.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I might rearrange these things.
Yes.
Whee! But yes, I will be doing that, so Brendan, you can start your turn.
Okay. I'm going to add a beat coming off of Alistair hiding the envelope in the golf cart. Hercules discovers the envelope as soon as he sits in the golf cart. He can just tell. Opening the envelope, he finds a disc containing Susan. He calls the government and says he wants to make a deal.
Which government?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hello, the government? It's me.
He just has them on speed dial, just presses one number.
The number is just saved as government.
Yeah. Government, and then the, levitating man emoji.
That's good.
Levitating man, red telephone.
And then for my second action, I'm going to add a detail down here where Hercules sees the golf cart being driven off at high speed for a golf cart. In the driver's seat is Uncle Thrall, hooting and hollering, yelling that he's finally free.
Because of the timeline crossing Chris just did, this does mean that Thrall died and came back to life, which is exciting to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the real Uncle Thrall.
Yeah.
Did you do an autopsy?
Wow.
Kennedy wasn't there.
Okay, here's a thought. Is there someone more interesting that it could be in this instance?
No,
Who could it be?
Maybe Janice?
Janice is also dead.
Oh shit, Janice is dead.
Janice is also dead.
Is Janice's aunt still alive in this
Janice's
timeline?
aunt is still alive.
In this timeline, yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna change it to Janice's aunt. Who I don't know if we've just
we've never named her. She's only
we
been referred
absolutely
to.
never will.
No.
Like in the scene where we buried her, this camera never looks at her gravestone.
She is only ever referred to, right? Like whenever her name would come up, the camera cuts so that that's in the background now, and someone else is just talking to Janice. Your aunt was a wonderful woman. She is never named.
We're here to bury a friend, an aunt, who we all loved so much.
Janice, do you want to say a few words?
No.
No.
My aunt was pretty cool.
Complicated.
We all know all those complicated stories about her, and we were all there.
Now we're just doing
her.
alternate timelines of the funeral.
Yeah.
What can you say about an aunt? She was one of my parents' sisters. She had a tiger. That's aunts.
That's aunts.
Toe to tip, she was an aunt. And no one can ever take that away from her.
Do we want to take like a
As we
quick little
bury
break?
her in this pebble beach. Yes, a 5-minute break would go down real smooth.
Hell yeah.
Yes, that sounds good.
See you soon.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ready to start wrapping this up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm of course gonna do a beat coming off from Alistair opening the envelope. Yeah. I think Alistair finds government documents indicating that the island is the test bed for some bizarre biological and like metaphysical experiments. But the final document in the envelope is a heartfelt love letter to him from Uncle Thrall, and I'm revealing my final secret, the sun, which is that there was in fact no ulterior motive. Alistair and Uncle Thrall were genuinely in love.
Love wins. That's beautiful.
I mean, good. I support them, but don't date your uncle.
No, not Uncle Thrall was super not his uncle. It is maybe his friend Janice's uncle.
I see.
There's a reason why I made Alistair like the best friend of the presumed heir.
Right.
Yeah, it's just everyone calls him uncle, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We said at some point, so not actually Alistair's uncle. We're okay.
Yeah.
Nobody can call this problematic.
Not a bit.
No.
Or they can, but they'd be wrong. Seeing Hercules on the phone in the golf cart, Alistair panics and runs toward it, only to see Hercules has already found the envelope. He takes off running towards the pier, which I'm connecting both to Hercules discovering the envelope and Alistair heading onto the boat, pursued by people in dark suits, because there are some very fast helicopters.
Oh, can I propose an alternative there?
Yeah.
They're just all
Maybe
they're all emerge out of the water.
Yes. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. The island is just surrounded in G-men and scuba suits.
Love it. Yeah, as agents in scuba suits emerge from the water. All right, that is my turn.
Alrighty. Okay.
And I just realized all of our cards have flipped. So it's time for the end game. When all secrets have been flipped into the motif deck, the end game begins. By this time, the broad shape of the network of timelines of possibilities should be starting to come into clarity, and your main focus as a group should be cleaning up the loose threads of the story rather than opening very many new doors. Continue taking turns as before, but rather than the beat and one other action structure from before, feel free to do one or two different actions that help bring the game into focus and clean up loose ends. You might connect two Dakotas to nearby beats, you might make a beat connected to two different beats, etc. Now is the time to start breaking and bending the rules of the game as you see fit, in order to pay off your twists and inspirations. Once all codas are connected by some path of beats or links to the curtain rise, or you are otherwise satisfied with your timeline, it's time to begin with the epilogues. So I guess we technically can have some dead ends, but I always think it's nicer to have a coda at every terminus.
I feel like we're headed towards that.
Yeah, I do think. I think we will not have trouble getting that to happen.
Yeah.
In which case, Chris's turn.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes, it is. Okay. Where can we start? Winding things down. Let's see, those have ended. These things, okay. That goes there. Okay, I think I have a thought on how to get us linked up to back to basics.
Hell yeah.
Listen, there's a reason I said metaphysical and biological experimentation. I wanted to leave that door thematically open.
Sure. Yep. Oh, maybe that. Can that go that way? Okay. Hang on. Some arrows. Some directions have to. Okay, I think this can work.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Miro, for being flexible about how arrows work.
Yeah, I want to... Let me just scooch this over here so that it's easier to keep things together. Okay.
Oh.
I'm just putting that up there because that's where it goes in my head, but of course anybody is free to change that around. But I think I actually want to scooch it again. I think I'm adding a beat after that, which is like I just like the idea of Alistair like reading this very sweet, very nice, very genuine love letter, and then immediately going back into the room to be like, "Oh, this is so lovely," and like sees Uncle Thrall like having just put some sort of coin into this horrible curse machine.
Oh my god!
So I was going to link that up to putting this here and putting this here. Alistair turns what's the word I want here?
Well, I think rather than maybe having a direct arrow, we can just have him walking in on the snake machine, since I have an idea for how things spiral out from the snake mechanism.
So
from no one discovers the snake mechanism.
Okay, sure. Back into the office. To gush about the love letter, just in time to see. So no one knows about the mechanism. Just in time to see, Uncle Thrall, I guess, at this weird snake statue, and then remembers the rest of the documents and gets angry again. Okay, Alistair goes back into the office to gush about the love letter just in time to see Uncle Thrall by the snake statue. Alistair remembers the rest of the documents, gets angry again, and confronts him. And then... Is there anything anybody wants to put? I guess I could just put another beat between those, but also, like, I could just connect them immediately.
I think if we
want to put like things between them, there.
Then we can add details.
True. Okay, yeah. Then somewhere in there.
I do think it makes a surprising amount of sense, so as is, so.
Mm-hmm. In as much as anything here makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. It's lovely.
Okay, I think that's my turn. That's 2 things.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to add a beat after Hercules seeing Janus' aunt hooting and hollering. Hercules hits a button on his phone, and the golf cart self-destructs in a fiery explosion.
Oh my god.
I'm going to link that both to Janus' aunt and then to Hercules discovering the flaming wreckage of the golf cart, leading to God moving over the face of the waters.
Mm-hmm. That's every technically that's every coda attached to something coming from the Curtain Rise.
I would definitely love to finish out some of the timelines, but
yeah,
sure.
I might take a second action to do just that.
Mm-hmm. And especially as we're wrapping up, beats can be, very long. And, put a whole timeline in that.
Okay, I will put a beat after Kennedy talking with Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing a noise, Kennedy whirls around and finds Hercules covered in Alistair's blood.
Ooh! Love it.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal.
Hell yeah. I want to do something with this back half of a tiger. Narratively. Alistair, Kennedy, Hercules, Janus, and her aunt, and various other parties attendees whose names we don't know, horrified by the animal cruelty, bring the tiger upstairs to Uncle Thrall's office, who apologizes for the sudden teleportation accident. Do I want... Yeah, let's specify teleportation. Let's get weird with it, if that's good with everybody.
Sure.
I think he'll maybe just say, for the accident.
I'm sorry, I was doing experiments on my tiger.
They demand a clearer explanation, but he ushers them out when he notices Janus staring at the snake statue.
Great.
Then, with the snake statue, gonna put a coda on here.
Oh.
The snake's eyes having been appeased, the rest of the vacation proceeds as normal. Next year's gathering, however, is a tiger-based disaster the likes of which have never been seen on Earth.
Great.
And
Disaster? What?
I think this one's going to be called Deaths Deferred. All right.
Great and excellent. Okay. The first thing I want to do is add a detail to this beat where Janice's aunt has a shouting match on the phone with Uncle Thrall.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That detail is her shouting drowns out a voice in the background that says, what's the most fed way to say this? Target acquired, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then I am going to link that all the way to Kennedy showing up with a tiger carrying Janice's aunt's body.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
It makes a kind of sense if you don't think about it too much.
That's efficient
Far
storytelling.
Too much.
Yeah.
Just gonna stretch out that line and then maybe, scooch that down so it's not getting run over.
That's beautiful.
That one actually went up pretty nicely, which pleases me greatly. And then, because Alistair still went missing at that one, and Kennedy could have been sent to try to find them. It just works. I was also trying to see if there is a way to get from the, like, if we flip this branch where Alistair and Kennedy had a conversation in the tool shed, if we flip that upwards, can that link to Debts Deferred? But I'm not sure because I'm not sure if I want to do that. Here's the thing. If we have a quote unquote accident, because I know it doesn't say teleporter accident, but the word teleportation was used, and so weird shit is on the table.
Maybe it's a timelines accident. Who knows?
Yeah. Because a thing that I had in mind from earlier when I was like, it might be too weird for what we set up, was they find the back half of a tiger, they like run off to go and warn people, hey, there's something out there eating tigers. That the front half of the tiger grows out from it and then 2 tigers walk away. Like they're worms.
Yeah, that's good.
Is there still a way to get to that? Because my worry is that I guess I could just make a new coda.
Yeah.
I could simply make a new coda instead of trying to, because this is going down and to the right. All the tiger business is up and to the left. Just the weaving that would need to be done. I'm not a textile artist. I don't have that skill.
I'm a crocheter. I could not do that either.
Yeah, I tried to make a scarf once, and it went from being one number of inches at one end to a different,
That's
larger
very
number of inches at the other end.
surprisingly
So
normal, unfortunately.
So I've heard, but at the time I was 15 and I was devastated.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would be
That
too.
was my foray into knitting. That was my only foray into knitting. Too scarred. Yeah, let's see. All right, there's also Hercules killed Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
Hercules is covered in Alistair's blood. I also forgot that is a path what needs ending. Let's see here.
That one could be pretty straightforward. I need that money.
Mm-hmm.
And Alistair didn't have it, it turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I just added detail there. A detail to that one. Hercules just tosses Alistair's wallet on the ground. Says, "There's nothing in here."
That's pretty good.
Okay, I think that's all I got for now. I'll keep thinking on these, though.
Oh, yeah.
Me turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're very close.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to add a coda onto that beat that you just listed.
Oh,
yeah. This coda is called Lost in the Labyrinth. Hercules coerces Kennedy into helping him explore the second basement, insisting on finding the lost thousands of dollars, which he imagines must be down here. They wander for days, peeking into what they maybe don't necessarily know are the other timelines, the other realities. Until one day finally finding the golf cart, which they use to drive away. And then I'm going to add another coda to a spot where it wasn't necessarily needed, but where I want to add one. This one is called A Yearly Festivity. And this is branching off of the Alistair whispers in Hercules' ear to go to Uncle Thrall's office, right off of the curtain rise.
Mm.
The two... I'm going to type it first. The two bring Uncle Thrall down for his birthday celebration, and everyone has a perfectly fine time without getting murdered at all.
The normal timeline.
The normal timeline. This is really like you do the visual novel and you choose the most boring response in every single dialogue prompt.
Exactly. I'm refusing the call to adventure.
Hell yeah. Okay. How do I make coda for this? Let's talk this out maybe together rather than me just taking my turn, because now we've all had.
This is the end, right?
Yeah, this is like gonna be. Yeah. This is gonna be the last coda, and then we get to do like a little bit of a character epilogue, to kind of wrap things up and say goodbye to our characters in the timeline. So, and yeah, since we're ending on an even round, so I think it'd be good to try and maybe figure something out here collaboratively.
Sure.
I feel like this is the ending where you secretly unlock a complete explanation of everything that happened. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I don't think we have that. So,
well, here's one thing that I don't think we've touched on very much. Janice is the heir presumptive, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What if the snake statue is her inheritance in some way?
Yeah.
And like, she gets to inherit the island and the associated wealth, but now she's in charge of like controlling this curse, which also means she has to like experiment on it or something.
Yeah. Now she can't leave.
Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So like,
she doesn't have to experiment, but it's hers to reckon with, however she chooses to reckon with it.
Yeah. So something like time passes and Janice inherits the island. Mm-hmm. What happens with Kennedy as time like just keeps moving forward with Janice inheriting the island?
Does that have to be part of the coda, or is that
I think it's just, to me, it's interesting and important that Kennedy, who lives on the island, gets some sort of resolution right now.
Sure. Yeah.
If we're looking into the future of the island.
I like the idea that Kennedy continues to live on the island, and like Susan can hint at it to Janice, but like Janice hasn't spent however many years like being here all the time and mostly talking to Susan, and so can't tell if Susan's being weirdly cryptic.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like at some point I just like the idea of Susan going just like, Kennedy just lives here, right? And Janice is like, what do you mean by that? Trying to decipher a code that is not a code.
Right, that's good.
My thought is that she ends Uncle Thrall's agreement with the Canadian government to use it for experimentation, which lets Susan trust her enough to tell her about Kennedy's situation on the island.
Oh, sure.
I'm so happy that Susan was never really in favor of all that experimentation. Yeah. Good for Susan.
And I'm gonna name this Someone Else's Snake.
Great.
All right. I would call that satisfied with our timeline.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Excellent. So, our final epilogues, we will shuffle all the cards from the motif into the motif deck, and then everyone draws one card, and provides a short, narrated scene about their character using that motif. It doesn't need to be long or detailed, but should give us some kind of resolution about that character's needs and desires in one of the various timelines we've created. These epilogues should give us a snapshot of the world after the codas, and are your chance to see the different ways that characters survive after traveling the labyrinth. Continue until all cards are drawn, and then everyone may do one additional epilogue scene to wrap up anything else with their characters, if you want to. It's not compulsory. But since there's not necessarily going to be like an even number of cards, if people want one more scene, yeah. All right. We had one undrawn, so I'm just gonna flip the stack, shuffle the stack, and I technically won. So Chris, why don't you start our epilogues?
Sure thing. The Empress Susan.
Susan,
that's my girl.
No littering.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and I guess I'll make a new color for the epilogue. That's
okay. And then do these have to like come off of specific codas?
Yes.
Or do they just float? Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe that's a little... Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hercules gave Susan to the government in the Pinchin and the Shore ending.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Which is a very Thomas Pynchon plot point to me.
Yeah. Here's my AI grandmother. Use her for the government.
Okay, let me make a copy of the epilogue thing. I think this is, I'm putting this after the, what was it called? Endless Summer coda, which is the one where there's lots of Kennedys now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad to get like a little bit on that.
Yeah. And I think this coda is some number of months later, or this epilogue is some number of months after that coda, after all of these Kennedys awoke. And it is a very haggard, scarred, traumatized looking Kennedy still holding on to the spear, just like, catching their breath, leaning up against a tree or something, and then Susan's voice just appears out of nowhere. It just happens because she can do that. And she says, you could make this a lot easier on yourself and everybody else if you just joined the club. And Kennedy is just like, I don't know what the club is. I've not signed any forms. I'm not a part of this. And Susan says, oh, well, there you go, being dramatic again. Okay. Over here. And then you hear, like, twigs snapping as footsteps approach, and Kennedy has to start running again.
Oh. That's very good.
I love it.
All right, that's me.
Okay, I will go next. The Chariot.
Ooh.
The Chariot is Kennedy is on the run from the federal government, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I feel like there's a lot of endings that involve the federal government.
They've got a hand in everything.
They're everywhere. Like tigers.
Alright, so I'm going to put this after Too Furious. The government agents watching the golf cart go off the cliff and explode, mutter into their radio. Lost another one.
Oh.
Actually, I can embellish that even more.
Dear.
They open a dossier filled with pictures of different Kennedys and X this one out.
Where does Hercules come into that, though? Are these are epilogues about our character, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Or do they not have to?
They're mostly intended to be about our characters, or at least.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, so okay. I had no idea. I thought I was just doing one about the chariot. So this should be about Hercules, but involves Kennedy being on the run from the government?
Yes.
Okay. Then
they sort of had that in common.
Well, yeah, I just wasn't thinking about that at all. Okay, I'm going to
Gotcha.
completely redo that. Cut all this out. Okay. I've got the chariot. I need to do something with Hercules and the chariot. I'm going to do Lost in the Labyrinth. The chariot is Kennedy is on the run from the government. After having spent so long in the second basement together, Hercules and Kennedy go into business together, and are now both wanted by federal governments for multiple reasons.
Incredible.
A match made in hell.
Yeah. I've drawn the Hanged Man, which is about the staff. Over the year, I think, so this is coming off of someone else's Snake, the Janus Inheritance, Coda. Over the years, as Alistair returns to the island, every year the staff begin to drop hints about something hidden there for him. Eventually he finds the love letter from Uncle Thrall.
Okie doke. See what I got. The sun. That one was just
Alistair and Thrall were genuinely in love. Yeah. Which, can be maybe in the background of Kennedy's actual ending.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
Or Kennedy could be the officiant at their marriage.
Oh! What timelines did they both survive in?
A yearly festivity. What if things were just nice?
Yeah, what if things were just nice?
Kennedy's like, my present for you on your birthday is I'm going to marry you.
Oh, I really like that actually as like,
I got my license.
You get the boring ending, but then once you've like unlocked the rest of the timelines, you can go back and see this extra scene from it.
Yeah, that's cute. Dearly beloved.
Dearly beloved.
Yeah, no, it's... We're all on the beach for a wedding this time.
Friends.
If anyone in this entire
Loved
game
ones,
is going to officiate a beach wedding, I absolutely want it to be Kennedy.
Still in a tank top and like cut off shorts, but just with a bow tie also. Because it's a formal event, you know? They have a bow tie, they're not... Come on now. They got class.
Hercules is wearing a gold leaf smoking jacket.
As part of the vacation / birthday celebration week, Kennedy officiates Uncle Thrall and Alistair's wedding on the beach. Yeah.
Cute.
Sometimes it's nice.
I got the lovers. I'm going to add an epilogue after Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where Alistair and Hercules flew away on the helicopter golf cart.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Watching the helicopter golf cart fly away, Thrall puts one shaky hand on the glass of the window, and a single tear rolls down his cheek.
Alistair, it's his birthday.
Ooh, the Hermit, which was... Kennedy
lives on the island.
Yeah. This is coming off of Too Furious. Alistair peers over the edge of the cliff in horror, only to see that the golf cart activated its parachute, and Kennedy has scampered off into one of the caves. Nobody is ever able to find them, though they find evidence that they are somehow still alive.
Ridiculous. I just find chip bags.
Doke. I've got the Wheel of Fortune.
Woohoo! That is Snake's Eyes.
That is Snake's Eyes. That's bad luck. Fantastic. Okay, I got it. This is going to be coming off of the God Moving Over the Face of the Waters coda. Where, let me just see. Boo. Yeah. Great, perfect. So Kennedy, who was nowhere near this situation where Alistair shoots Hercules on the roof of the mansion, it seems like they're safe from being found by the Canadian FBI. But as bad luck would have it, that roof was glass, and it cracks, it breaks and crashes open. A helicopter lands on the roof because they gotta make sure that they lock down the situation immediately. It's too heavy for the glass roof. It crashes through the roof, crashes through the upper floor, crashes through the main floor, all the way down through the foyer into the caves and stuff where Kennedy's secret home is, and the government finds them there, and they are arrested and taken to serve their sentence on the Canadian mainland. Yeah, they are not able to escape. The bad luck, it got them.
Miserable.
Yeah, it does suck. Okay. That's me.
Temperance.
Oh, yeah.
Temperance is, of course, my car counterfeiting scheme.
Mm-hmm. What else could it be?
This I'll put after Pinching on the Shore. Alistair is posthumously convicted of Hercules' car counterfeiting scheme. Hercules, needing to make back his money, begins to investigate pork futures.
Oh my god. And I am gonna do one last epilogue. Coming off of Back to Basics, Tiger Timeline, which is just, we see two tigers curled up together, sleeping happily.
Aww.
Oh.
And I think that's the game. Unless
Good game.
You can also do more epilogues. One more epilogue if you'd like. But I think
no, I'm good.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I got 3.
Now is the time to sit back and be proud of the map of timelines you have created. Consider the scope and possibilities of your story. Thank you so much for playing the Invisible Labyrinth. Yeah, thank you guys so much for playing. This was a ton of fun, and I'm really proud of this wild timeline we managed to make together. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting us to play. This was bananas.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. Thank you so much.
Yay, I'm so glad. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, and hopefully in the first episode, we'll see, you can find this game at wedidthetimewarpagain.itch.io, and you can find my music at wedidthetimewarpagain.bandcamp.com. Listen to the podcast Oathsworn. I'm not on it, but I'm a big fan. And Brendan and Kris are on it. And yeah, good game, everybody. And good night. I say at 5 p.m.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.